Hello everyone, and welcome to a Hearthstone replay on Belshar, and I believe it's Belshar, yeah. I'm gonna kind of talk my way through this one, just to kind of give you a clue on what's going on. So my opponent was random, so I have no idea what he is. So I thought about doing a fast expo just in case Zerg, but instead I decided to get a little fancy by putting the pylon back here, because then if anything else I can always drop a forge, just in case. So I mean, I'm better than having it out here and then it getting sniped by Zerglings, and you know I'm gonna have a bad day with that anyways. So, but I drop a gateway instead. I noticed that my opponent is Protoss, so it does benefit me. So, as I won't get rushed at all, so I have him set on patrol, kind of have a scout out on what's going on. And we'll just play from there. Basically, I'm gonna try to do about 1 gate pressure. I actually screw up the pressure by making one more zealot than I should have, instead of a stalker right afterwards. So it turned out to be 3 zealots, 1 stalker. The timing will be off because of that 1 zealot. So after the probe leaves, I kind of look at this. I mean, we'll just go through this view, and so I'm scouting my own base, trying to figure out what's going on. Start sending them out, and yeah, because I'm waiting on 1 more zealot, it makes it really hard. I'm actually looking for proxy pylons, so I have my 1 probe moving out and about, trying to scout it out. So far nothing, so I dropped down another gateway. Got myself on the tower to make sure nothing's crazy is going on. My probe got trapped behind that, so I had to get him out that way. I can't swing that. So we're gonna just kind of go through this kind of quickly. You know, it's not, you know, one of those really like high-end matches. It's just one of those things that, you know, oh, he had this, and then all of a sudden you know, he's taking out I didn't take anything out by looking at that. I mean, I just lost almost. I lost everything right there. I should not have lost that much. Should have pulled back, but it's okay. There was no further aggression from him, which is kind of strange that I didn't get any, like no counters or anything like that. Nothing. There's his observer, as you can clearly see it. He's looking for an expo. Didn't find the expo. I chalked down 1 more gateway, so I got 5 gates on the way. Wait for that to die, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh wait, I'm kind of getting supply blocked there, so I dropped down another pylon. I canceled that, so I'm gonna save myself a little more on the minerals. And as you can see, I'm actually doing pretty good. You know, I've lost too much. My money stays relatively low, which is always good. So you see, you know, my APM is kind of low. It doesn't make a difference to this. So we're just going to kind of slowly get through this game. So the main thing is to kind of attack. I'm trying to build up a force rather quickly, so that way, you know, hey, if something happened, you know, I'm not. So as soon as I get my warp prism, I'm gonna do warp prism drop, so I have him kind of shift clicked everywhere. I'm dropping my nexus down so I can get that going. Taking out those so I don't click on them. You know, it's just kind of one of those things. I start to pump out my colossi. I now have range on the way, so we're gonna take a look at the units lost. On top of this, a lot of overlays, but as you can see, I don't think he was ever paying attention to the probes. I think he was way out of position on this. I'm pulling him back. He lost all his probes on that one mining base. Top of that, losing a little chunk of army here and there. I mean, I lost army, but he lost just income. See, look at the income, like devastatingly down. So, as we see that I'm kind of set up in a good position to actually do a lot of damage. My mothership was making noises like it glitched, so I had to kind of move it around. And then he's trying to engage me up a ramp while I have a better concave. On top of that, my Nexus did finish, so I was able to pump. My mothership core didn't die. So now he just lost so much right there. So I mean the units lost. I mean he just lost almost all his army. Like I have a huge army supply laid over him, almost a double. So once that Colossus goes down, then it's way over. So he kind of lost a lot. He basically went all in for that one. So if we look at his view, and we kind of fly back, let's go back to when this drop happens. Right before this drop happens. I mean, he's already on 2 bases, which is good. So his income is almost about 4 or 5, about 500 more than mine. Close to 6. He's got double forge going down, so his upgrade should be pretty good. And he's not paying attention to his probes. He didn't pull back his probes. Now, here's the problem here with this is that I've never been a big fan of it. This is something you would do in lower leagues against Zerg and against Terran and Protoss in lower leagues. See, like bronze, silver. Between bronze and silver, you would do this. And gold and higher, you don't want to do this, because look at this. Look at the amount of time it takes to funnel through all this, to funnel through his entire army. So his army is not really doing anything. His sentries get out first, so all of a sudden, I could be almost attacking sentries. I mean, the Twilight's down. He's got double upgrades on the way. I mean, he's basically just, because of that, he could have saved his probes by pulling them all off and clicking them here, or at least a good half of them. He didn't have to lose all his mining base. So he basically just lost the mining base. But look at the funneling through here as we slow it down. And we go back about a second or two. So, yeah, so basically that little ramp. So he's going to go through. It's going to go one at a time. Instead of his whole army kind of coming in. You see how it kind of funnels them through? If I had a sentry and I just force fielded there, yeah, there would be no way he'd be able to get in. I mean, the only way he'd get in is through warp ins, and then his one Colossus would have to wander around and get up top again. So, this is always a bad idea. Just in general, you kind of want to put your building placements around the Nexus. So something like this versus this. So, and we'll see that he funnels this army in. I mean, he lost a whole mining base worth of income. So now his income is, so we're now even in income and probes. On top of that, my second base just went up. So his Twilight's on the way. His thermal lance, does he have thermal lance? Oh yeah, he does. So he has thermal lance. He doesn't have. He's 1-1 and should be finishing up pretty soon. That's when he's gonna attack. His army is greatly higher than mine. But the choke for, so now he's got to transfer probes back into the main. So he's kind of all-inning right here. I mean, he didn't pull all his probes out. He's not going with his army, but I don't think he's watching his army. Yep, it's getting slaughtered. And then I got the... On top of that, I got a warp in behind it. I think he commanded his army? I'm not sure. Oh no, they're A moved. I mean, they're gonna instantly attack, but I... Okay, that's weird. A little chunk of his army went this way. The rest of it, a small piece went this way. Another. Personally, I would rather attack through this path, just because of the fact that going up this ramp, especially against Terran or any race actually, it's just this ramp right here is just a bad idea. Because your engagement's going to be really bad. Plus, the guy already has high ground advantage. So, say Terran siege tanks right here, Widow mines right there. All of a sudden, he's got a huge force of marauders and bunkers, and he's got a giant army right there, waiting for you to come up this ramp. As opposed to coming up this ramp, you have an idea of how to engage properly and stuff like that. So, an engagement there's always okay. By accident, I'm just kind of moving my guys around. So, they're kind of spread out just a little bit. So, you see, we got my mining base full. I got my forges just now completing. So, had he engaged over here, moved over here, and then moved this way, I think he probably would have won. Just for the fact he did have upgrades, but he was out of position here. You're always going to be out of position here. Against Zerg, you got roaches and stuff like that, which do well with the concaves. So, they can do this. The hydras, spine crawlers. And then he's got them A moved, so it's... Did he really have one Colossus during that entire engagement? Was he really a Colossus behind? There's a Colossus. Hold on, small things here and there. I'm apologizing for this. So I think he was a Colossus behind. Okay, this is Colossus. Here's my drop. Yep, he was a Colossus behind. So automatically I have a Colossus advantage. What do you know? Well,